Hello and welcome to round one with Green White Hate Bears. We are on the draw. I always hate these kind of hands. See, the single mana dork is the problem. If there was a second, if I was actually getting somewhere, if this lived a turn, that's different. But even my opponent doesn't bolt it the first turn, suddenly they're very incentivized to kill it the next turn. 22 lands in the deck, so 21 outs, 2 draw steps. I'd keep this if I hit a land in the first two. And I'm about 60% to miss each time, so I'm like 60% to hit over 2 draw steps, about just eyeballing it. I don't actually. I don't even know if that's enough. I break for a turn and play this. See, the problem is that if I miss my land, like it's not even like I have 2 drops to play. I'm stuck with all three. So if I miss and then this dies, yeah, much better. Now the question of, do I want to put my opponent on being a creature deck or not? Do I have the tools to beat them? What non-creature deck? What do I get punished for keeping the path against? I think I'm supposed to keep it because I think there's a lot more decks that the second path wins the game against than there are decks that the path doesn't. Well, obviously immediately punished. I was gonna say Celestial Colonnade is basically the only land that punishes me that hard. Oh, though it's possible that. Hmm. See, Wall of Omens indicates a Sun Titan list where the paths are actually going to be live, or like Resto Angel at least. I don't think there's a reason to not just jam the Finks out there. Not like gonna path a Wall of Omens to stop my opponent from drawing a card with Resto. Oh no. That's a disaster. That's one of my better draws. 4. So my goal here is just to really not use this Path to Exile. Uh, feel like that's worth pathing though. As much as I really didn't want to do that, I think that that Kitchen Finks represents a significantly bigger roadblock than my opponent casting 4 drops does. Oh, that's convenient. Good job, deck. Well, my opponent's going to cast 4 drops anyways. Well, I will continue to kill Kitchen Finks. I don't actually want to extend this Pride Mage here. And the reason I EOT killed the Finks is so that I can hold up Resto this turn. Right. And I realize this is overextending into a sweeper, but I don't really know. Like, my board doesn't really do any. It's not even overextending because a Wrath leaves me with a half of Finks around. The problem is that if I just lose the Finks, I have nothing. Like, it's just as easy for my opponent to kill the Resto. This does not seem like a good matchup for me. Yeah, that's fine. That's a great draw. Though I'm kind of extending it into a mana leak that my opponent's... Yeah, well... Oh. That was a mistake. I was supposed to attack first, obviously. Missed 2 damage. I just like Druid and was really excited about the prospect of resetting my Finks. This is... Yep. That's the Sun Titan I was expecting. Yep. This is a problem. This matchup seems quite miserable. Just like the entire setup of like being green-white hate bears against the blue-white deck that has a lot of basics and a lot of spot removal and Ras. Does not seem like where you want to be. Yeah. This game, not gonna not attack. Yeah. So we'll be cycling Horizon Canopy in combat. Hopefully we hit Miser's Path to kill that Ojitai. Nope. Yeah, let's get in as many blocks as possible on that Sun Titan. I'd have to find Yuya's list so I can compare. I don't know it off the top of my head because I'm pretty sure that that's based on this. I don't think there's enough count or a lot of counters. It's actually possible that Aether Vial is a liability as opposed to just having lands in my deck or spells, sorry, to draw. So it's possible I want to shave like one of the Aether Vials. I guess with Flicker Wisp you can't ever do that though, because like that really makes this card so much better. Yeah. I have a plan. It involves my opponent's top like 20 or not 20, but top let's see. 8 card or like it's like effectively like 12 cards worth of stuff being complete bricks. Yeah. I accidentally F6'd into that, but oddly enough, I would rather just have the basic at this point than 2 Aether Vials. Oh, yeah, I couldn't even draw a path on that sack anyways, because my opponent has Manamo. They can untap Dragon Lord Ojitai, and then I die horribly. If this is a... Yeah, so if I draw a Pride Mage, then I kill it, I get back 2 Flicker Wisps, and I'm still basically getting nowhere. technically not dead, but it's for a very, very small definition of technically. I'm on like one out here. And my oh no, there's a celestial in play. Um, yeah, I guess I have ghost quarters for the celestials though. Okay, so we're not dead. That is not the card I need. Those are the four cards I potentially want. Don't really want Dismember, even though it kills Ojutai. I think Blade Slicer is really good. Thalia is fine. I think I want to cut one or two Aether Vials. Maybe Noble? Noble's pretty key in terms of the power setting. I just want to cut one, I think. Just drawing too many of that card is very bad in this matchup. I want these. Kitchen Finks is trash in this matchup. It's not home fighting. This card's very good. Is Thalia actually good here? Do I actually want Spellskite? Basically, the question is whether Spellskite's better than like Arbiter or Thalia, which I don't think it is. I don't actually like. It's just protecting my like. It's really just a protection spell for my flyers that sometimes works. I don't really have any big lock hate bears. Like Teague eating a path and then the rest of my stuff. You can set up with Teague such that like if it eats a path and then the rest of your stuff eats a verdict, like that's still a fine trade. You. I guess the mind. I guess I like the mind sensor just as a flyer. I guess the arbiter is probably. Yeah, I should have shaved two arbiters here. My opponent showed no fetches last game and showed Mystic Gates, which is kind of weird, but do I even want that here? I don't think I do. It doesn't push a Thalia through a wall, and I'm not drawing it. There's not like an on-curve point to cast it. It's a bad land, effectively. Okay. Trade. I could trade either of those for a click. I'm okay with that. Actually, I think I should have a dismember instead of a path. And because so my opponent took Gaddock Teague and put it on the bottom of my library. I would just like to point that out. Like that did happen. My opponent didn't leave me with stuff, and I didn't notice it until I looked at the chat. So ta-da! Had it. Uh, I'm okay running out this ooze because if Teague gets pathed, I'm in a great spot. If Teague doesn't get pathed, I'm in a fine spot. Well, just max my damage. Opponent didn't kill my creatures last turn. What are the odds they kill him this turn? Unless it's like condemned. That would be crazy. Yeah, sure. I have another ooze, so the best one is a forest. Supreme Verdict. No? No. Okay. That's what I thought. Um, Play that with Path Up. Play Ooze doesn't really shut off anything relevant, I think. I think is mind censoring. I don't think. I think Flicker Wisp actually is the best. So, just thinking this through, I don't want to play the ground creature in case of like a Finks getting in the way. Flicker Wisp, on the other hand, though, I don't want to play the mind sensor this turn because the whole setup of like a flash creature is usually better when like you're putting pressure on them and forcing them to make the decision, and then you can flash it in after or whatever. Like you decide whether you have to path. Though I'm not even using my mana efficiently if I do that. Like I'm just locked into playing the mind sensor. Like they just know it. So this is definitely the right one. Cool. Yeah. Now we're flexible in what we can do. I don't really care about what land my opponent's getting. I'd rather leave. So if I get verdicted, that doesn't really do anything. So it flicker. Yeah, I can just play whatever after verdicting or path or really just whatever I want to do. As my opponent floods out horrifically. Um, Pretty sure I'm supposed to play Mind Sensor here. I'm not too afraid of Cryptic Counterbounce. So many Mystic Gates. Okay, that's fine. Hmm. I think I want to play both creatures. Cute. Cute. I can get Ghost Quartered now. No, no. No, I can't search. Getting Sun Titaned? That's fine. Kind of assumed that was coming. I think Resto is the one I want to cast here. See, the sad part is that I think that my opponent doesn't know. Okay, maybe they. Okay, so they don't know. Good. So there's like there's like 3 levels of knowing. There's the like level 0 of not realizing that I had Arbiter. So if you don't realize I have Arbiter, you assume that I only have 2 lands or 2 fetchable basics in deck. So you would Ghost Quarter me again, potentially to strip mine me. The next level is knowing about Arbiter. That's fine. So the next level is knowing about Arbiter, and you just know that I couldn't fetch anyway, so you just assume I might have more basics, and then you just don't Ghost Quarter me. And then next level is just knowing my list and just Ghost Quartering me because I only have 2 basics. I'm going to slow roll this Ghost Quarter because if I actually have to kill a Celestial... Yep. So I don't want to get my Ghost Quartered is really what the issue is here. Yeah, just play... My opponent probably boarded out Mana Leak if they have it. Play this in order to just minimize the number of draw steps my opponent has to deal with it. Is this another Cryptic? Ugh. I hate playing against Cryptic Command with green-white creature decks. I spent way too many years of my life doing that. And by too many, I mean literally just one. One is enough. Pretty sure I'm supposed to just path that and keep on moving. If my opponent had a bigger threat, I think they would have... They didn't see both pass off the click earlier, so they would have played it. This is actually how I have to continue. Ooh. Wow. Okay. Green. Green. 1. Eternal Witness. Witness, Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp, Witness. Get back Resto. Have the instant speed creature in hand later. What? Boo. Still better because I sold a Ghost Quarter in hand. I won! How lucky! How did that happen? Million turns later. Ugh. I guess, so Arbiter I think is just bad. like Spellskite. It's actually possible that Finks is also better than Arbiter because it survives Verdict. I don't think I'm going to Arbiter my opponent out ever. My opponent's all lands, blue-white control deck with like 4 fetches at most. And then I said I wanted to dismember over it. That's not right. I said that, and then I realized I didn't want it because of Finks. It's cutting a lot of creatures with power for creatures without power. It's just 2. I think if I have an extra spell Scud, I think I want to cut another Vial because it's another card that isn't actually a physical card. It also walks me like right into Verdict, so maybe I just want 1 spell Skite, leaving a second Arbiter. I don't think you can afford to have too many do nothings in the deck, and there's currently like 8 and then another that are half do nothings. Not even sure Spellskite's actually good, but yeah, no, let's just Arbiter. In theory, I can win a game with it. We did kind of see the big weakness of modern control decks, though. There, they just kind of draw cards in the end game. They don't like actually have a card drawing spell. They just put cards from. This is fine. Put cards from their deck, from the top of their deck into their hand, and there's not a lot of ways in most of these decks to actually draw cards. So if I save 2 life this way, that's right. Playing Athalia here actually good. My opponent doesn't even have 3-cost spells that I want to deal with that. Just play the Noble, get to a Resto faster. Cool. I get to do the thing now. That's a reasonable draw. I think I want to do this here. Pretty sure I have to kill... I don't know if I had to kill the Finks there, but I think that's a fine setup for it. There's no reason to flash in response. May as well let my opponent take one of them, or force them to take one of them, depending on how you look at it. I think that... Oh, no, that was a mistake. I should have I don't actually know. As long as my opponent doesn't have Ojitai right here, I think I'm okay. I'm okay with any result of this. Even getting Path for no value. I was wondering when that card would show up. Yeah, that's kind of the death knell. Vendilion click, take, nothing, dead. Immediately, always dead. That's a problem. Though, I guess I am holding off this nonsense for now. Is there an incentive to do that? I actually do want to do that. So I don't actually care about having more mana. I do care about my opponent having less mana or less life. Though my opponent being at 20 probably rounds up to infinite. Are there even creatures in graveyards? No. Yeah, I just don't have creatures that are big enough to fight through this. Is this another Resto? Oh, Cryptic. Oh, joy. Another Cryptic command coming up. Please draw a land so I can do the thing. Oh, nope, just dead. Oh, Ojitai. Even more dead. Yeah, I've seen enough here. Unshockingly, the remove yeah, not a good matchup for my deck that is reliant on having its creatures be relevant at all. Not good in the slightest.